Good morning, students. Welcome to online class. Today we are going to see democracy in civics. Let me see what are all the topics we are going to discuss in this chapter. Types of government, equality and justice in India, and fundamental rights. A government is the body that rules over a country or a state. It makes laws to maintain order in society and ensures those laws are followed. At the same time, the government also has certain responsibilities towards the people. It provides amenities like health care, good roads, railways, housing, drinking water, electricity, and parks. Types of government. That is, countries around the world follow different systems of government. In some places, the form of government is chosen by the people themselves, while in some others, the people have no say in the formation or the functioning of the government. Let us take a look at some of the main forms of government. Authoritarian. Power is held by one person or a group of people who have not been elected by the people of the country. The rulers have all the power, while the people have almost no right or freedom. There are different types of authoritarian governments. Monarchy. One ruler, that is a king or a queen, rules over the people. Power is transferred hereditarily. Britain and Thailand are examples of constitutional monarchy, where the monarch is answerable to an elected parliament. Brunei is an example of an absolute monarchy, where the monarch has complete authority. Let me see about theocracy. A group of religious leaders rule in the name of God, and governance is based on the principles of that religion. Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the Vatican City are examples of theocracies. Oligarchy. The government is run by a small group of people who hold power and wealth. Like a group of aristocrats, this France before the French Revolution, a group of powerful men in ancient Rome, or a racial group, as the rule of the whites in South Africa, for example, we can see. Dictatorship. The government holds total power and is ruled by just one person who assumes power by force. That is Germany under Hitler and Pakistan under Ziaul-Haq. The ruler exercises absolute control. People have no rights and no freedom. Let me see about communist. The government owns and controls the economy and a single party holds power. Private ownership is banned. The means of production belong to the community and all goods are equally shared by the people. Examples include China and North Korea. USSR used to be the largest communist country in the world before its dissolution. Let me see what is democratic. The citizens rule directly or elect representatives from among themselves to form a body that governs the country. There are two types of democracies. First one is direct democracy. That is, people take part in all discussions and participate in decision making directly. This was the earliest form of democracy and is possible only in small societies. For example, ancient Greece. The next one, indirect or representative democracy. The government is run by representatives chosen by the people. The people choose their representatives by voting for them in the elections. Examples include India and the USA. Elements that make democracy popular in the contemporary world. Today, democracy is the most popular form of government across the world. Let us take a look at the reasons behind this. So, the first reason is people's rule. Democracy is the only form of government where citizens are guaranteed a say in the decisions taken by the government. People choose their representatives through elections. Since these representatives then go on to form the government, people in a democracy hold ultimate political authority. A government which fails to live up to the expectations of the people can get replaced by another. People have the freedom to raise their voices against government decisions they think are harmful for the welfare of the people. Equality. In a democracy, everyone is equal in the eyes of the law. The Constitution guarantees equality for all and does not allow discrimination on the basis of caste, gender, race, religion, wealth, or language. Let me see the fundamental rights. People have certain basic human rights in a democracy. These rights are protected by law. A person whose fundamental right is violated can approach a court of law. The Constitution of India assures its citizens the following rights: the right to freedom of speech and action, the right to worship in any form, the right to freedom of information, the right to travel and settle anywhere in the country, the right to form associations, the right to assemble freely, and the right to education. Law and justice. A democracy has laws to limit the power of the government. In a democracy, no one is above the law. The law focuses on delivering justice to resolve matters in a fair manner so that everyone gets justice. Separation of powers. In a democratic government, power is not concentrated in one body. It usually consists of three branches: the legislature, executive, and judiciary, that operate alongside each other. They keep a check on one another and ensure that the other branches do not misuse their powers. This division is called the separation of powers. The separation of powers makes it very difficult for a person or a group of people in the government to become too powerful and establish authoritarian rule. So, constitution we see means it is legislative, executive, and judicial. Accommodating differences. In any healthy democracy, there are systems put in place to accommodate the needs of the different sections of society and to resolve conflict. This ensures that all differences get settled peacefully through dialogue and negotiation. The aim of any democratic state is to ensure that the rights and values and sentiments of all groups and communities are respected. Equality and justice in India. So already we learnt about the main features of a democracy in 6th standard. These include people's participation, conflict resolution, equality and justice. Of all the features, possibly the most important is the assurance of equality and justice for all. Certain sections of Indian society, like the Dalits, that is the groups of people in India considered as untouchables, tribal people and women had been ill-treated for a long time. When India became independent, the leaders of the country realized they had to take strong measures to improve their condition. Some steps they took are listed below. Let me see. The Constitution of India ensured political, economic and social equality for each of its citizens. Every citizen above the age of 18 was granted the right to vote in the elections. Everyone's vote, irrespective of their caste, religion or wealth, had the same value. This empowered the disadvantaged groups. Dalits and women have become increasingly active in Indian politics. They have held some of the highest positions of power in the country, like the seats of the Prime Minister, the President, and Chief Ministers. The government has also put in place certain mechanisms and launched programs for the welfare of disadvantaged groups. The abolition of untouchability was a major step forward in protecting the dignity of the Dalits. Seats were reserved for people belonging to the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, that is SC and ST, in Parliament and in institutions of higher education, while a certain percentage of jobs were reserved for them in the government and in public sector companies. Several initiatives were launched to save the girl child and ensure her rights to education. The Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao initiative is one of the more important of these initiatives. The way ahead, while a lot has been done for the welfare of the disadvantaged groups in India, much more remains to be done. Changing the attitudes of the people remains the biggest challenge. In a democracy, it can be very difficult to balance what is just with what is popular. By opening people's minds through education and by reaching out to people from the weakest sections of our society and empowering them, we can become an equal and inclusive society. Thank you, children.